One of the things I'm going to share from research, one thing you could do to make your training 90% more effective, research-based study, and just very, very powerful. The real magic happens on when they, after the training, they get back to the job. Do they use what they're taught? And what can we do to help assure that they do? So otherwise, it's a lot of waste of money and time, and very little thought or focus is given on what did you just learn, and how can you share some of that, and how can we immediately implement it, and how can the your coworkers or your manager reinforce the new behaviors? Because if they don't get reinforced, they won't be adopted.
So some of what I'm used to hearing with the with training overall is, all right, you went to the class, you got the training, good job. Now let's teach you how it's really done. So, as some of the techniques that we're focusing on for engaging learners, also going to address that sort of mentality where this is something that not only overcomes the hey, now you're going back in the job and doing all the work you have to do, but also overcomes the people who are like, yeah, you went through that, you know.
Yeah, and so like that fallacy is sort of like saying, well, you got the textbook, explanation for how we do things, but to this is how we really get it done to get to cut corners or to meet our budget or to make sure that people come or whatever it is. And so I would say, one of the things I learned as a trainer is that one of the best trainings is you try to bring the walls down. So it's not a classroom, but it's bring the actual problems that you're dealing with. Let's talk about them here. So the more we can make it, we're here to address, and that's rule one of adult learning is people, you have to give them things that are immediately practical to what they're doing. If not, you're not even going to engage them to begin with. But adults more than anyone, can I use this now or not? If I can, I'm interested. If I'm not, if I can't, then save it for another day. And so we have to make that training time more and more effective. I'll give you an example. I was working in a manufacturing plant in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I was doing a training on recognition and blue collar supervisors. They all piled in the room, and it's kind of grumbling. We got too much to do to be wasting our time on this stuff, and so I got kind of a hostile crowd to begin with, and rightfully so. Maybe I don't know what the past training has been, but on my watch, it's like saying, "Well, let's talk about recognition. I hear you guys have you do some recognition safety training. Is that true? Oh, yeah. How do you reinforce that in the work environment? What do you do to encourage more safety? Yeah, safety ball caps, good. And points for coming to the safety meeting. Okay, good. Yeah, and so on. Pretty soon we've got a list of 12 or 13 items on the bulletin board. This is and how's your safety culture? Well, they already know it was way above average. This is why. This is why. It's not just what we did in the classroom. It's what you did back on the job to bring that classroom learning to life and to talk about it and to reinforce the things that are key for us to maintain a world-class safety record. We're going to apply the same principles to other aspects that are also important to you and your core values. And oh, okay, and now people are like, okay, bring it on. Now, I framed it so this is not going to be a waste of your time. This is going to be integral to your success as a supervisor. And then we do just that. So I think that's a big part of it is to make the training relevant to the learner's needs.